Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. We are a group of fundraising professionals that specialize in raising funds to improve communities of all sizes.
Hello and welcome to the Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group.
You guys just missed a whole lot.
You just... Maybe I'll take that last intro and make it into a bleep-filled short.
It's gonna be it's gonna be bleep, 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 bleep.
We're here to talk about the fundraising sphere. What's going on in the fundraising space? My name is Shelby Stokes.
Kelly Schenfeld.
Polly Schenfeld here. Hello, fellow fundraiser fanatics.
You get ready to say something. Your mouth was open. I have decided today I'm going to switch this up and we are going to talk about... Are you ready?
Nope.
We're going to talk about the frustration that we all are experiencing with the charity business halfway through the season.
Oh boy.
It affects everybody. However, we're still doing the right stuff and we have to power through that frustration that we feel. People aren't showing up to auctions. You get late cancellations. You get somebody that says they're going to give you a package and they don't. You've got consignment packages that aren't raising enough money and the people still think that they just donated $5,000 when in fact they did not. So you've got...
Because $3,450 of it went to the...
to buy the package. So, and it's okay for us to have these little snippets of frustration because you all feel it too. Because if you don't say that you're frustrated, you can't spin it into a positive, and that's what we're going to do, right?
First, you must recognize the issue.
Recognize your frustration.
Recognize the
It's
issue.
a really good point.
Recognize the frustration
Hey, before we
and
go
then
on,
fix it.
can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I mean, are white socks not a thing anymore?
No, you're out of it.
Are they not?
No.
Black.
Unless they're gold toes, because if they're gold toes, we give you a
Denise,
pass.
yes or no?
It works with tennis shoes.
Works with tennis shoes, that's it. Okay.
You kill the white
Thank you.
socks.
Your
What?
shoes could be a little bit longer.
Your pants could be longer.
okay.
Denise answered.
Thank you.
High water pants are a thing of the
Okay,
past.
okay,
However, they're
that's-
coming
yeah.
back in suits.
So, thank you.
They are
Yeah.
coming back. Suits are higher. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, and it looks horrible.
It does, but it's a thing.
It is. Like, it's coming up to people's shins, like the bottom of the shins. Okay, let's talk about frustrations. I think you had a pretty frustrating event last weekend. 2 weeks ago, I had a pretty frustrating event, and I think they were frustrating for the same reasons. And I think
I want to preface this and then keep your thought. It's not frustrating because we're doing them. We're frustrated for the organization.
that's exactly right.
Because we want to make a lot of money for them because we believe in every organization we serve. Go.
Yeah, and like we want to be a value add, right? Like we want to be a value add to the experience. Like we want to come in, raise money for an organization. And what we're finding at times is that we're coming in and people have just slammed the easy button so many times that it almost feels like the effort has not fully been put in, right? You know, in the example that comes to mind for me, I was essentially in a situation where the items were very rinse and repeat of last year, but also like very consignment based. And there wasn't a lot of like excitement about these packages because they weren't new or exciting or sought after. And it really turned into a night where it was like pulling teeth almost to get the funds out of the room. And then you take that one step further, and this event specifically had a makeup of audience members who were not the audience members that should have been, that had the capacity to show up and give.
Yep.
They were the wrong people in the room. They were not there to give. So when you're trying to sell like lukewarm items that don't have huge appeal to bidders that don't really want those items, you feel like you're in a stilted environment where there's nothing you can do to really succeed to the extent that you feel like you could.
Yeah, and I think too that what happens is that you have a successful event or a couple of them, and then the rinse and repeat happens. But the one thing that we can count on in the economical world, charity world, family world, friendship world is change. There's going to be change. And we find that with each change, there's something positive that comes out of it. So we need to remember that when we're doing our charity auctions, that having the same thing year after year after year after year becomes stale. And you are always having to remember that you are cultivating next year's audience at that evening's show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily today's dollars. That's Mark saying, it's not always today's dollars, it's tomorrow's dollars. And that's very, very important to remember. Frustration, that has to do with us having empathy for an organization not hitting their goals.
Yeah. I mean,
That's where it all goes. That's where it all ends up. 50,000 is my goal. We made 38.5. Dang it, I failed.
Yeah.
And I would take that a step further and say it's expectations.
Lower
And
those.
we as people that take a lot of pride in raising funds for nonprofits at auction, like our expectation is that we're going to do the best we can for the end goal. Like whatever that cause is, whatever that mission is, we're going to put everything into one fellow swooping movement to make that goal achievable. And when it doesn't all fall into place, it does become frustrating because it feels like not everyone is there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And that's difficult.
And I think something to remember is that we can only fail as board chairs, as EDs, as guests, as auctioneers, as ringmen, as everybody that's involved. Humans in general can only fail when we have 100% control of every aspect of what we're doing. And in a gala, it's a big jar of a bunch of people that all had different expectations, as well as different jobs, as well as different thought processes on how something should go. And we shake that jar up and we throw it out onto the floor that night. And so, I think that's something to remember as well, is that we only are failing if we don't get there and we don't give it our all.
Yeah.
And we give it our all.
You talk about change. Let's take that a step further. Let's be not afraid to experiment.
Yes.
Okay? You have a traditional gig you've been doing for 10 years. There's 25 items and a fund of need is at item 15. Every single year it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not think outside of the box? Okay, let's change it up. Let's make it a gala format. Let's go 12 items and a fund of need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's this fear of, if I get rid of those other 13 items, oh my gosh, that's $10,500 that I'm not going to get.
Yeah.
But you could get it if you present the paddle raise correctly, maybe.
And have a powerful paddle raise, and maybe if you want to have a party, right? Charge a ticket for the party. $300 a head or whatever.
That's a lot of money for a party.
That's a lot of money for a party.
What if we put a picture of your dog on the big screen? Will you pay $350?
I know a few people
There
that
better
would.
be an AI robot there.
There better
Yeah.
be a robot.
But, so then have that party and have an ask.
Yeah, for
Have
sure.
a powerful fund to need ask. And that's not a bad change either. But speaking of AI, chatbot some stuff.
Chatbot.
Talk it.
The chatbot.
Talk about
the
it.
chatbot.
Talk the bot.
So I've been,
Talk the bot.
Is
Talk,
that
talk,
is
talk
that a
the bot.
search? Is that like Chat GPT?
yeah.
That's another. Okay.
It's kind of like ChatGPT, and I was telling the team on Tuesdays I've been using it quite a bit for item research.
I have a sneeze coming.
So-
It's going to come at an inconspicuous time, just so that everyone knows.
So like when I'm going through my catalog of items that we're going to be presenting, if I feel like I don't know enough about an item, or say for example I need more information, I will use the artificial intelligence to basically do my research. So I had a
That's
package.
a really good idea.
It's really helpful. Like it's really
Is it
helpful.
really?
Yeah, so I had a bourbon package. And I don't know bourbon very well, but it was 11 different bottles of
He's
bourbon.
drank enough of it, but
Well-
he doesn't know it very well. It's brown, and it makes me feel funny.
It makes my tummy warm.
That's all you
It
need to
makes
know.
my tummy
Shelby.
warm, and my head feels a little fuzzy, doesn't it?
That was actually the 3 factoids that it came back with. The chatbot. Yeah, it makes your tummy feel warm.
It makes the tummy feel warm.
But so essentially, I had this list of 11 bottles. I cut them out of my digital catalog, Control C, pasted it into the chatbot, and said, "Give me 1 factoid in each one of these bottles." And it basically took it and basically gave me one factoid on each one of the 11 bottles that I had.
That's a great suggestion, dude.
Super helpful. Super helpful. And from there I was like, okay, this is interesting, this isn't. So I'd grab like 2 or 3 because you're not gonna use all 11 factoids, obviously, but you're able to use like 2 or 3 that are like kind of interesting and I didn't know. So it was pretty helpful. Another way I used it was I was in an area that I don't know very well. And one of the packages we were selling was Super Bowl tickets. And I was like, what are the favorite teams in this area of the country? And it came back with like the 5 most popular teams.
And not
based
just
on
NFL.
that locations. And it wasn't just NFL, because I just said football teams. And it came back with one of the local colleges that's pretty popular.
Had a Pee Wee team on there.
So like super helpful though, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because
that is a great idea.
I'm from Seattle. I'm not going to go up there and be like, "Hey, Seahawks fans, where are you at?" Because you're in the Midwest. Like, no, you need to play the game, right?
Double shock. There are some Seahawks fans in the Midwest.
Well, let's just say the chances are they're not
Slimmer.
Seahawks fans out there. So I would definitely suggest using the chat bot.
How could somebody use the chat bot or chat GPT or what's that called, chat or whatever it is? There's very many different ones because I'm not a supporter of AI, but it's here. It's not going away. It's just going to continue to infiltrate everything. So let's harness it. So what would you suggest somebody planning an auction that has done it the same for 4 years plug in to get some new suggestions, new ideas to spice up their auction?
Type that very thing you just said into the search bar.
Yeah.
How do I spice up my fundraising event?
Do that and share that with us.
Yeah,
I mean, just that simple.
I
It
think
could be that simple.
Could
Joe.
be.
It really could. I think the thing that I'm learning with it is just try to use it on the daily basis. I use Bard, which is the Google plugin, bard.google.com. You log in with your Google account. And the reason I like that one is because it's tied into the actual web searches that are happening right now. And they're starting to plug in more and more real data, which is nice. But long story short, you can basically use it for whatever question you want, and it'll give you a jumping off point to the next thing. This is a really cool application for live auction, which I hadn't considered before.
I'm going to check that out. That's a great idea, man.
I really like
What
it.
do you
That's a
think?
great idea.
What do you think it could do for Fund a Need videos?
Fun to need videos.
It could make one for you.
It could probably make one for you.
Yes!
Probably make one for you.
Probably could.
Fun to need videos are in a weird spot right now. In fact, I don't know if this is on topic or not, but I saw a really good video this weekend, and essentially what it was is it's for a medical research organization who has been putting a lot of money towards medical research in a very specific sector. And one of the speeches that was delivered had to do with an update on what a new drug has granted the opportunity of one of these patients. And it has changed that person's life. It changed that individual's life. And then being able to share that speech with saying hey, you've been funding this organization for years. This is what's happening right now. This is the first individual in this state who has had this medication. And here's what's happening in order to make this person's life better. It's huge.
that is huge because you could use that to send a mass email out to last year's donors or the ones that are coming this year, and you could even do it prior to the event on what's on the horizon to gear them up for what that funding would be handling or could handle. I mean, there's ways that we should probably, and I say we, I mean me, support that a little more than I do because I've kind of been really put off by it. You know that. I'm like,
It's okay to be afraid of it.
It's not that I'm afraid of it. I'm put off by it in that, I am so...
Threatened?
Nope, not even threatened.
Not
I am
threatened.
so afraid of... Because of all the people in the world, there are so many more eloquent speakers and smarter people than me. And I am aware of that. I am way down there. However, I love the human element in writing. I love the human element in presentation. I love the human element in everything. And that's probably why I love the charity auctions. I I do. I love it. And I worry that human element gets taken out. And then
I
we're
love
in
it.
trouble.
Even
I love
though
it.
it's the most frustrating thing.
So frustrating.
So frustrating. So frustrating.
So tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rewind to the beginning of the podcast.
Right.
Wait a
Yeah.
second.
I know we came on a little hot. We came in a little hot.
But it's our podcast.
Right. And
We can be hot.
we're mid-season, right? We're
hot.
mid-season.
Cut it hot.
I wouldn't say we're low on energy, but I would say we're low on patience.
Low on patience,
is
which
what I would say, and which we have a lot of patience. We will make it work always.
And shame on us
always.
for being low on patience.
But there are things that you see sometimes that pop up that we think can be done better, and that's okay.
Where you just want to say, "Are you kidding me?"
I would say that if you're
What?
if you're
You what?
you did
Huh?
wait
You did
How many?
now? You want to do that now?
that many? The suite? Really? The suite? Really?
Okay,
Okay.
we will.
All right.
We'll do
No.
whatever you want because we believe
Sure.
in you.
Yeah, we do. I had a really good night on Saturday.
Yes, you did. He's $1 million man.
$1 million man. We had $1 million gala this weekend.
$1 million.
We did not.
You did not.
No.
You did not. But it's funny because we share frustrations. Literally the week before, I think I raised $20,000 total over the course of the entire night. And the next
3,500 in the live. How many items? 15.
And then the next week, $1 million. And it's crazy. It's just, this is a crazy business. But the pieces change, but they also stay the same. And I know we've been we've been banging the drum on names quite a bit. Knowing the names of the people in the room absolutely saved my bacon this weekend.
It is imperative in connecting.
Made the night work. And had I not known the names and just randomly been talking to people the day before, I would not have had the night that we had. I walked up to somebody wow, this is really looking good. And I start giving compliments about the room. Oh, I'm the decoration chair. Oh, you are? Well, good job. I think you do a great job. Go upstairs, run into this guy. That's the lead donor at Fundacure. And I didn't know the guy from Adam. And I didn't know who he was. He could have been a volunteer for all I knew. And then it turns out that he's one of the heaviest hitters in the room.
What do you feel about name tags? Not just for us. I'm talking about for the entire guest experience, right? For every guest, something pretty for the girls and something not pretty for the boys. But so that you can say,
ugly for the boys,
Jill.
because boys get ugly name tags.
No.
How about a lanyard?
Why not a lanyard?
How about a choker? How about name tags?
How about a choker?
Yeah.
How about
How about henna tattoos
My name is Phil.
across the neck? Henna tattoos across the neck.
cross forehead?
Across the
Phil.
forehead.
No, I mean, you know what?
I love the name tag
I
idea.
do too.
Phil, did they spell your name wrong?
Is that F-I-L?
FILL-UP.
Is that
Fillets middle.
is that Phil up or Philip?
Fill up.
But no, I love name tags, and I know everybody doesn't, but I love them so much.
I love Brad. I love it.
I love it.
It feels like in the Oprah commercial. You know
love
what I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah.
I love Brad.
But I do. I love the idea of name tags because in a silent auction even or at the gala, it's helpful to people, I think. And you can get good-looking name tags or lanyards, like you said, or, I don't know, boas. I don't know, but something. I think they're helpful. I do. I think they're helpful. I'm probably a small sect of people that thinks that, but
Well,
I
you
love
like
it.
name tags, so you're definitely a small sect. Yeah, for sure. What name tags have helped you this weekend?
One of our guys did say.
No, they wouldn't.
No, you know what? Nothing would have helped us this weekend. However, except maybe the bourbon. But
Rounded wings and it wouldn't have made any difference.
But one of our guys had stated to Amber that they suggested that an auctioneer stand at the door. and greet and I actually really love that idea. Now, I'm here to tell you that our guys are not going to want to do that, but you know what? It's a pretty ingenious thing. If you're new to that community, you stand at registration. And
I've done it before.
I love it. I love it. You know, you could see your top donors coming in and say, "Oh God, I'm so glad you're here." Blah blah blah. Da da dee.
I so can't wait for this request to come to your husband. I cannot.
My husband.
I don't be like, she did it. She did it. It
No.
wasn't us. It was
My husband will do it because my husband loves knowing who's at his event. He does. That is one thing, and he gets nervous as a five-tailed cat. But
Mark's perfect.
Mark is pretty damn close to perfect. Okay, but he's not really. But he is. But he would do it because I'd be pushing him to do it.
Bias. Prejudice.
No, I'm not. I like him. I mean, he's a cool cat.
Prejudice. Well, folks, that was our Ramblecast for this week.
Yeah,
Thank
what
you
am I
for
gonna
joining us?
what am I gonna call this one?
The Ramblecast.
Rambling. Have you ever
What am I
seen?
gonna-
You know what you call this
Frustration
one?
with false fundraisers.
Yeah. No, you call it. Have you ever seen Steve Martin when he's playing his banjo and he's going, "I'm a rambling guy. I'm
Oh,
a rambling
yes, I think I
guy."
have.
Oh, it's
Yes.
so great. Anyway, that's Steve Martin. Love him.
I'll think of something. I'll put it into the chat box.
There we go.
Put it into the chat box.
Bird.
Bird.
Anyway, thank you for letting us ramble. We won't do that again next week, but then again, we might.
Who knows?
Never know.
So I'm just like envisioning like you go to a fundraising event, you raise like negative $10, and then you get to the debrief and you're like, look guys, had an idea. Name tags. That'll fix everything.
Negative
If we-
$10. Here's my idea.
If we had name tags, we could have raised $15.
That's right. That's like we would have been $25 up because you go from negative 10 to 15. That's a swing in the black, baby.
Well,
The name tags cost $150, but you can have those sponsored.
if I had known that guy's name at table 9, I know I could have got a 20 out of him.
Oh,
No, I could have. Anyway,
well, guys, have a good week.
it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your hearts open and your vision clear.
Have a great weekend. Be kind to yourself and the people around you. I got to think of something new.
And go do some good.
I like mine.
Bye, guys.
Later, Gabe.
Bye.
Ciao.